They're noises.
They are some noises. I just did some noises.
And it's making things on there.
Ah, it's making things now. Every time I make some noises, it's going whoop, whoop, whoop. Can you, like, try and see how high you can get a thing? Is that just through...
That's volume.
Volume?
Yeah.
So you just get louder and louder and then quieter and quieter?
Yeah. That's how the podcast begins with Joe and Levi.
That's pretty good.
That's how it begins.
So we're doing the podcast right now?
We're doing the podcast right now.
Ah.
It's happening already.
It's happening.
Yeah, you don't try and escape.
Can you hear me now?
Well, I can't because we're not monitoring, but...
Am I alright in this hat, or will I put you off?
I like the hat.
Okay.
You know? And I think your image that we took has the hat on, so it makes sense that you should wear it while you're recording the sounds and talkings, you know?
So, what do you want to talk about?
We can talk about anything, sir. Anything you like. Something you know about, something you've done, something that's happening.
I went into
an idea.
Nissa the other day, and they had a pack of sausages for £2.
Yeah.
90% pork.
90%? For £2?
It's not bad, that.
It's pretty
That's
good.
That's pretty much butcher quality.
Do you reckon it is pork? Or do you reckon it's like...
Well, they're telling porkies. I think it's a bit weird that they called Porky Pig. It
is pretty weird. You're not supposed to do that, are you?
No.
Like McDonald's don't have pictures of cows up, sort of thing. Like you're not supposed to.
No, that's a bit weird, that.
No, it makes you like the thing too much, doesn't it? You're like, oh, it's a cute pig.
Yeah, they wouldn't have a character called Beefy Cow.
I think, why not? Let's do Beefy Cow.
I think we should do Beefy Cow. Yeah.
Does he just smell like roast beef crisps all the time?
Maybe
like
that's why you don't see Porky Pig anymore. Maybe they realised
it was harming pork sales.
I've probably not seen Porky Pig since I was about 12.
Yeah, a long time. Was that even the first time round? Or was that like repeats for kids of Disney stuff? Like, yeah. I don't know, man, he might be pretty old. Maybe like 80s or something, though.
Yeah.
Late 80s.
Definitely not around anymore.
No, there's been no gritty reboot, has there?
I think he was in them sausages.
I think, maybe Beefy Cow should be like a reboot, like a gritty modern reboot of the idea of Porky the Pig. But he's a cow.
What
and he
other
smells
characters
of beef
would be
crisps.
in it?
I don't think we need others. Beefy Cow.
Beefy Cow is...
Ducky Duck.
Don't work.
No.
It needs to be a character whose who has a name for its meat within its name. So it's Porky Pig, Beefy Cow. And you don't like...
Lammy Sheep. Sheepy Lamb.
Yeah, it'd just be Lammy Lamb,
More
though, wouldn't it?
It's all different ages, isn't it, with lamb? And then it's different
So you had
meats.
Choppy Lamb.
Choppy Lamb.
Choppy Lamb. Or,
But what does he do? What do you do when you smell of beef and onion crisps and you're a cow? You know.
Yeah, it's a bit weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like us having human and onion crisps.
Do you think the other cows will accept him?
I don't know.
I don't know. I feel like he'd be cast out.
Yeah, and that's how it'd begin.
Maybe the whole thing should just be him wandering alone.
Yeah, with his little suitcase.
Yeah, or a bindle.
Yeah.
Like a homeless. Beefy Cow, the homeless cow.
Yeah.
It's depressing.
But I think he should have like a backstory, like he's quite tough.
He is quite tough.
Like that's how he survives on the road on his own.
Yeah.
Like he's quite good at MMA. So like any farmers that try to get hold of him, he just puts them in chokeholds and like makes his escape.
'Cause he knows what farmers are about, doesn't he?
Yeah.
They fool those other cows. Oh, he feeds me. He's going to have you. Yeah. He's going to end your life.
Imagine how much different the world would be if like animals had the ability to fight like us.
What if they could stand up?
If they could stand up and throw punches and kicks.
Kangaroos can't they, I suppose,
yeah.
a bit. I bet monkeys could.
Yeah.
Maybe they need to start training some monkeys with like boxing techniques instead of teaching them some bullshit about how to spot a colour.
They did have kangaroo boxing, didn't they?
They did. I suppose it's cruel.
Yeah.
But just to teach them the sweet science, it's harmless.
Yeah, I think as long as they're free to go after the
Yeah,
fight,
send
and
them back into the wild.
feed them well, give them a good payday.
And then you got to send them back to teach all the other monkeys, or just become king of the monkeys. Just pow! I'm in charge. Other monkey doesn't know what's happening.
Yeah. So far on the podcast, we've just talked about Porky Pig, Beefy Cow, sausages,
And boxing monkeys.
boxing monkeys. Yeah.
Pretty animal centric.
I think monkeys would be quite good at like jiu-jitsu, wouldn't they?
I reckon
They're
so.
good at wrapping themselves around people and.
Yeah, if they could like get some discipline in there, you know,
Yeah.
definitely. Imagine if a gorilla could. He'd be king of the world, wouldn't he? A gorilla that could really box.
Jesus Christ.
No, I suppose they don't need to too much, do they? Because they just bosh you and that's it. Bush.
Would you rather be stuck in a room fighting to death with a gorilla? Or,
Not a gorilla.
or 4 Mike Tysons?
Why does Mike Tyson want to hurt me real bad? Does he want to kill me?
It's a fight to the death.
It's a fight to the death against 4 Mike Tysons.
I think I'd go for the gorilla. I feel like even though the gorilla would probably be stronger than 5 Mike Tysons.
5?
Did I say
I
4?
thought you said 4, but this
Maybe
is getting
4
worse.
Mike Tysons.
Yeah.
I think that it'd be Mike Tyson's just trained to kill you anyway, isn't he?
Of course.
Whereas a gorilla,
And there's 4 of him.
although he's big and strong, if he gets older, he's probably not as intelligent at attacking. You might be able to outthink him somehow.
And people do survive them sometimes, don't they? You know, they get out of them. Usually they need something more than a fist. I reckon if you tried to actually fist the bear, though, the gorilla, maybe that'd put him off. You know? Like, if...
You're talking about actually fisting a gorilla and not punching him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go straight to the ground, behind, because, like, after that he's going to be like, alright, what the fuck was that? And run off, I think. No, people survive bears. I don't think
if you
people
could
survive
somehow,
gorillas.
even though you'd be in a life or death situation, somehow manage to turn yourself on, you could
Well, you don't have to.
persuade him that you got a banana in your pocket to distract him.
That's
then,
almost racist. Holy
and then
shit.
as he goes to grab it, you have to jab him in the eyes, wouldn't you? Stick
In
your
the
fingers
eyes.
as far down his eyes as
That's
you
the
can.
one, innit? But can you get to his eyes? Like, that gorilla knows his eyes are going to be bad if you get him. He's
I
going to
mean,
go...
even little chimps bite people's faces off
Yeah.
and stuff. So,
Yeah, I'd go for the gorilla and I'd try and fist him.
you try and fist him.
Yeah, you couldn't do that with 5 or 4 Mike Tysons. You can't.
No, you've only got 2 fists.
I think it might be the method, even with bears as well, maybe. Difficult to get around to the back end of a bear, though. What about gorilla versus lion?
A lioness or a lion?
Uh,
I think I'd have to go for the cat.
yeah?
I think so, yeah. Just because it's more in its blood to attack and kill, innit?
And it's got them big arse claws on it, you know,
Yeah,
and it knows
yeah.
how to use them.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if there's any animal that'd beat a big cat.
I feel like a healthy gorilla would at least stand a chance, you know? I think that fight could go either way, depending on the day, you know?
Yeah, 1-on-1 it'd be tough
Yeah.
for anything to beat a... Yeah.
You know, maybe a plucky hyena. There's another animal for the collection, plucky hyena.
Hyenas are pretty good at killing.
They
cats,
are,
aren't
if they well,
in packs.
yeah, well in packs, yeah.
They go for the groin, don't they?
Yeah, I don't think they'll go after packs of hyenas, lions, and tigers and stuff. I don't think.
They are like a rival, aren't they?
Yeah, kind of.
So like
yeah.
hyenas hunt single cats when
and
they find
get,
them on their own.
Yeah.
Whereas I watched a video on one recently where a pack of hyenas are attacking a lion. I think it was. The lion puts up a pretty good fight against about 8 of them, but it's like losing and it's losing its energy. But then another one comes along, and the 2 of them beat shoo off the hyenas.
Another lion.
Yeah, another one comes along.
Fresh.
Another one. I don't know if it was like part of its pack or whether it was just a random lion that came and like helped it.
Yeah, man, hyenas are pretty vicious, I reckon.
what are them little ones? Is it a type of badger or something that's really vicious in the attack?
The honey badger.
Honey badger, they are ace honey badgers.
The race got a stuffed one. Would you believe? I can't believe it really. But yeah, picked one up for cheap at auction.
You'd be in trouble if a pack of honey badgers walked past here
Can
one
you
day.
imagine a pack of them? Are they solitary creatures or? Because it's a good job if they are. Otherwise, we'd be in trouble, wouldn't we?
I'm not sure.
I feel like they're too grumpy. Mongooses are mental as well, or mongoose. I don't know which one it is.
Yeah,
But,
I can't even remember.
They just go after snakes. Like they don't even eat
I
them.
know.
They don't give a fuck
Yeah,
about
I've
the
seen
remains or anything.
Have you
They'll
seen?
go well out of their way just to fuck one up.
Have you seen the video of squirrel versus snake?
No.
The squirrel kicks the shit
Yeah?
out of a snake. Yeah, I don't know if the snake's killed one of its kids or something. I
It's
don't
getting
know, but
revenge.
it just darting all over the place and biting holes in the snake.
Biting holes.
And the snake's trying to get away, and the squirrel keeps pulling it back, like get
So he
back
was
in,
like
and beats the shit out of
He
it.
was like vengeful squirrel.
Yeah,
So there's another animal that beefy cow could meet. The vengeful squirrel.
yeah.
They killed my family. You know?
How did we end up with a podcast just about meat and violence? I think this is why I didn't really know whether I should do a podcast.
Yeah?
Yeah,
We can just talk about random shit, it's fine.
yeah. People are like, oh, this Joe.
This Joe, what's he about? Do you want to be called Joe?
Can I pick any name?
You could.
You'd have to cut that bit out where I just call myself.
Yeah, and I would have to, we'd have to remember not to use your name too often. But it could be anything. You could be just Joe if you wanted to be pretty anonymous. That's pretty anonymous. It's just in case, really, we talk about anything illegal or anything like that.
Yeah.
If you'd like to not have your... Like, if you're just Joe
Yeah,
Or-
that could just be Joe.
yeah.
Or it could be,
or something.
yeah, I need to write some songs that's with some weird chanting in.
Weird
I've not really done that yet.
No?
No.
Oh. Have you seen High Lung? Did I show you High Lung?
Highland?
High Lung.
No.
Viking guys. Well, like Norse pagan guys. They have all sticks and they do chanting and stuff and they're pretty insane.
You might have done.
Yeah. They're all like wearing like they look like people who lived in forests a long time ago or something.
Oh, is that what you posted on your podcast
Yes.
page where they're on
Yeah,
stage?
yeah, yeah.
A bit crazy, them guys.
Pretty crazy, huh?
I don't know if my brain's expanded far enough to accept that sort of.
How long did you give them?
I think I watched about a minute of it, and I was like, "This would be amazing if I was like drunk at Levi's," but not whilst I'm
not
sat in
right
my
now.
room.
You should watch it in a break on the bus. Are you allowed to do that shit?
Am I allowed to summon demons on the bus? I don't know.
There won't be any big ones come through if you're just watching it on your phone, I think.
Yeah.
I reckon.
What else shall we talk about today?
I don't know, I mean, could do some made up news. Or,
Yeah.
yeah.
What, like satirical,
I dunno.
the day-to-day headlines?
Yeah.
Like breaking news.
Breaking news.
Dust is just a tiny breed of moth.
I don't know how to respond to that, so I mean, that's terrifying news, really, isn't it? What does it mean? Or is it? It's always been around. You know? If dust was a tiny moth,
Yeah, and you
it's
can
always been one.
tell because when you slap a pillow and it all comes off,
Yeah,
it floats towards the light.
of course. Of course it does, doesn't it?
Yeah,
So it must be true.
it is true.
Where did you hear this?
On the news.
On the news. God damn.
Yeah.
Don't know what to say about it. I heard on the news something that you wouldn't believe. There's a cow found dead that smells of beef and onion crisps.
Well, that's our cartoon fucked up.
We has to die sometime, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Now we can do a prelude to that.
Beefy cow.
Beefy Cow's
I'm
Adventures.
gonna need a theme tune.
He dies at the end. Beefy cow. He dies at the end.
I tell you about when I started writing a comic called Eyeball Man.
I don't recall.
It was a pretty interesting comic.
He sounds pretty
He was
interesting.
like a really skinny, scrawny guy with like giant eyes. And the first episode is him like walking down the high street, and there's like some bank robbers running out with like things over the shoulder and stuff.
Oh shit.
And then so he like looks towards the bank, and the robbers run out and see him, and then like Eyeball Man just stares at him, and his eyeballs slowly float out of his head and wave about in front of the robbers, and then he goes, "Ugh!" and then they all drop dead, and that's like the end.
That's pretty intense.
And then the theme tune was like, it was just basically a rip-off of Spider-Man theme tune. It's Eyeball Man, Eyeball Man, Eyeball Man, Eyeball Man, Eyeball Man, Eyeball Man. He fights crime 'cause he's a Jesus.
Nice.
And that was it.
Well, I think Eyeball Man, could feature maybe.
Yeah, I still want to recreate it because that's the only episode I ever wrote. That
Is it the noise that does it, or the eyes?
Nobody knows.
Nobody knows.
No, it's...
But he always does both.
Yeah, he does both. Yeah. Like, they get hypnotised by his eyeballs. Like, whoa, what's going on? And then he goes, ugh! And, it just kills all of them instantly.
Straight away.
Yeah, there's no fights in this comic.
Just loads of squares of eyes moving around.
Yeah. Yeah, I've got a drawing of him somewhere.
With his regular eyeballs or with the...
Well, I've got one of each.
One of each?
Yeah.
Nice.
I did a few different characters.
Who else have you got?
And it was like egg with legs. It's just like I've not written any episodes for these guys.
Right.
But egg with legs was just like an egg with legs. For some reason he had arms, but he's just called egg with legs.
They're not
important. And he's in the drawing. He's like taking a shower.
Right. Just about to go out on his day or something.
I had Mr. Crazy Hand Man, which was just like a guy in like a top hat with all crooked fingers.
Nice.
He was inspired by Mr. Hands out of Enter the Dragon.
I don't remember Mr. Hands.
Do you not remember? Do you
remember
Enter the Dragon?
Yeah,
you know, the bad guy with one hand.
Oh, yeah.
And then
Mr. Hands.
he pulls that guy into his office and he's like, Mr. Handman or something.
I can't remember, man. Yeah.
I had like one that was like half rat, half something else. Then half rat, half hand or something.
So he was rat hand or
there
rat
was a guy that
something
had like a hand where his nose should be. It was like a wrist coming out with a hand on the end that could like open doors with his face. Yeah.
Pretty crazy ideas.
Yeah.
Did they all form together to make a thing?
I think I'm just making up the fact that they were superheroes. These were just weird drawings that I did in my sketchbook.
They were planned to be superheroes, but
yeah,
never quite got around to doing the rest of it. Like Beefy Cow.
Beefy Cow.
Beefy Cow.
That does MMA.
So you're going to say MDMA then?
Yeah, well.
He could do, couldn't he?
Well, he gets into some tricky situations.
I bet. He dies at the end, but there's a whole life before that.
Yeah, but I don't know. Maybe you shouldn't be telling people that he dies.
He's going to die at the end. Isn't he?
But if you tell people that he dies at the end, then there's no point in reading the rest.
Well, but it's at the end. There's all this stuff to happen first.
Yeah, I guess so.
I think. They find him dead in the first episode. And we don't know what happened. It's all a big mystery. Nobody knows how he died. They make a big kerfuffle about it.
That could work.
And then we're like, 10 years earlier.
Yeah, that could work.
I think so. Shocking. And then he'd have all his adventures with all the other ones that I can't remember, but we recorded it, so it's okay.
Yeah, maybe he has to, like...
Plucky hyena.
Learn to forage in the woods for and live off fruit and stuff.
Yeah.
So then at the end when he dies, his burgers are really tasty.
I like that idea.
Yeah.
Will he be eaten? That's the big question.
Yeah.
Yeah, he'd be eaten. By people who liked him or people who didn't like him.
But his head's going to be frozen cryogenically.
Next level. And then it's going to be...
So then we've always got the option of bringing out another series where his head's attached to
Robo
an actual
Beefy Cow.
MMA fighter. And he starts entering MMA tournaments.
That'd be amazing. And make it really brutal.
Yeah.
Just brutal.
And nobody can choke him out because he's got such a massive neck.
Would he still have hooves at the end of his hands? Do you reckon he'd get them?
No, I think it'd have to be just
human.
Yeah.
Just human with a pig's head.
He wouldn't be able to talk, would he?
He'd be able to go... Nah!
Oh, but it's a cartoon, so he can talk.
Yeah. No, he should talk. It is a cartoon. Can you draw cartoons that'll animate?
Kind of.
Can you? That'd be pretty cool.
I got an A in art.
Nice.
As a teenager.
What did you do to get that A? What was the
I drew my main picture was a self-portrait.
Yeah.
Which was sort of inspired by... Have you ever seen that Salvador Dali painting where there's a head floating in the sky?
Oh, I don't know if I've seen that one,
It's his normal sort of desert scene that looks kind of weird, and he's he does a self-portrait of himself, his head
just
sort of floating in the sky. So I did my head floating in the sky, and I did loads of weird little pictures at the bottom, I think there was an egg on a skateboard or something. And
egg
then
on a skateboard.
Half of it was day and half of it was night. And I drew a hand drawing my face.
Oh.
I wish I still had that painting. It's the best painting I've ever done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's their property, innit? Anything you make at school or uni or whatever.
Yeah. And we displayed it for a while, I think.
Yeah. Oh, that's all right then. But then where did it go? Did they just keep hold of it in a drawer?
I think I could have gone back and collected it, and I just never did.
Maybe you still
and
can.
I think, I don't know, because it's been 15 years.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe not. Awful.
I should try and paint again. I've not tried to paint a picture since school.
No?
No.
You should do it. You should paint loads of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. What would you paint?
Probably my face. It's a bit weird. I think I'm secretly self-obsessed because I just used to draw my self-portraits all the time. I got really good at drawing my own face.
That's how you get really good.
Yeah, but then I forgot how to draw other stuff. If you tell me to draw a cat, it'll just look like me. It'll just be a cat with my face.
Just a cat body with your face.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what we should do for all the animals.
Should I do a song? I've got
a song.
that. I've got a song that's a little bit. It's sort of about life and time.
Nice.
And it doesn't really make much sense.
Nice.
But it kind of makes sense.
Kind of makes sense.
If you're high. And that is why this song is called High. Takes an hour and turns it into weeks, and in this world we will stride and see. I'm high, nonsense is to time, the silence to a mind, bitter like sweet symphony, and sour like a lime. And I'm high, 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 high. 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 Madness turns to sadness, and sadness turns to wine, as the things that we cherish will slowly decline. I'm high, riddles are to lie, as husband to a wife, squared like relativity, you keep just like the dice. And I'm high, I'm high, I'm Me.
It's a hit.
Why don't you play that and I'll sing some Nick Drake lyrics over the top in a hillbilly accent.
Amazing.
Famous bitter fruit tree, so very unsound, it can never flourish till the stalk is in the ground. There you go.
I like it. I like it.
Yeah, this is Nick Drake stuff. Famous but a fruit tree, so very unsound, it can never flourish till its stalk is in the ground. So men of fame can never find a way till time has flown far from their dying day. Forgotten while you're here, remembered for a while, a much updated reign for a much updated style. Life is but a memory, happened long ago, theatre full of sadness for a long forgotten show. Seems so easy, just let it go on by, till you stop and wonder why you never wondered why. Safe in a womb of an everlasting night, you find darkness that can give you the brightest light. Safe in your place deep in the earth, that's when you'll know what you're really worth. Yes. But he's like pretty poetic guy.
That was quite fun. We were creepy.
We should do some spoken word poetry at the poetry club.
Who should?
Us, we that banjo.
Us. I'll just play things like that are really creepy.
So, what's our checklist so far then?
I think
Sausages, beefy cow,
we've done the animal stuff.
animal fighting,
We need to get serious.
serious stuff
Serious
now.
stuff.
Okay.
What's a serious thing? Not beefy cow. I mean, beefy cow is serious. Let's not put people off by them thinking it's going to be just a comedy. Obviously, it's going to have heavy drug use, probably some weird sex, weird romance between beefy cow and I don't know.
I heard there's a national halloumi shortage, and also a world helium shortage. Have you heard about
Helium.
that? Yeah,
I think maybe, yeah.
because apparently someone I know went into Smith's Toys, and they've had to they only had a little bit of helium left, and they said once we've used this helium, you won't ever be able to get helium from here again.
Never.
Because apparently there's a world helium shortage, and places can't buy it anymore. It's only being supplied to hospitals.
Oh shit! So no more balloons.
No
floating
more
around.
helium balloons.
I have to go back to them old school balloons that
Like,
kids.
where did they get helium from? Like, how did he?
It's a gas, isn't it?
Yeah,
Is it mined in some form?
possibly. Like, how could there be shortage? They don't just.
Helium mine. You must have to extract it from something or turn
Yeah.
something else into it.
It's a bit weird.
Maybe you get like liquid helium.
Imagine this is the end of helium balloons, and kids will grow up thinking it was some sort of myth and they didn't really exist.
Oh yeah, what? You could talk with a high voice. Let's go talking with a high voice, Dave.
You just put it on.
They won't understand that it's next level high like that. Maybe there'll be recordings.
Yeah, but how can you prove that people weren't just putting it on?
Of course. Just messing about.
What's that gas that does the opposite and makes your voice really deep?
Oh, it's something that's really heavy, isn't it? Because
Yeah.
like helium's the lightest gas,
Yeah.
and it's like one of the heavier gases. But I think,
I'd
have
love
to be
to
careful.
try the heavier stuff.
yeah,
Do a song with the heavier stuff.
yeah.
I've got
Have you got
an
a
app
low
on my
sound?
phone,
Oh, right.
like a video editing app where you
Oh,
can
yeah.
speed up and slow down stuff.
Mm.
I sent you
posted
some
something,
sped
but-
up stuff, didn't I?
Yeah.
But it sounds good slowed down as well.
Yeah.
Did you see the YouTube video I put up of me doing Yesterday by the Beatles in the style of Barry White?
What channel's that on?
Joe Eves. It's just my name.
Just your name, Joe Eves,
Yeah, and it'll come up with a picture of me.
and then everyone can go. And-
Yeah, I think I put it on about a month ago. It's had 12 views.
All three of the people that view this can go and check it out. Hopefully.
And it's just me trying to play Yesterday but slowing it down a lot. And it sounds pretty impressive.
Pretty good, yeah. Are we
Yeah.
going to have a little rendition? Or are we
Probably
getting
not
serious?
probably not the Barry White version.
Probably not the Barry White version.
No. I'd need some. I want to say. I'm trying to think of the name of the gas because I've heard it.
Argon?
Argon, boron. I don't know.
Some of them are pretty bad.
Yeah.
So you better not get the wrong one.
So we need a serious subject to talk about.
What do you think of the Queen? That's pretty serious.
I think she's probably a bit of a psychopath.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think you've got to
Don't
be...
mince your words, Joe.
Well, she is a bit of a psychopath, isn't she?
Yeah, I suppose she's got to be.
Yeah, all the
in
stuff
that kind
she's
of
done and the people nations she's slaughtered and stuff. But... yeah. But it's kind of weird that you get a little old lady that's a psychopath.
Mm.
Like, she's
Do you
still
reckon
a
she was
psychopath
always like
now,
that?
isn't she?
Yeah, she's still like.
A little bit.
Imagine if you got a nasty eye off the Queen and it was like, "I'm gonna have you killed," kind of an eye. Like she was like, "You're fucked." You'd be worried, wouldn't you?
Yeah, she's...
You don't want to get on the wrong side.
No, she's the sort of woman that'd strangle you in your sleep.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. I reckon she'd want to look in your eyes while she killed you, if possible. So she might give you a little wake up. I suppose you'd wake up if you were being strangled, wouldn't you? But I reckon she'd want to look in your eyes and watch your soul escape.
Yeah. Have you ever watched like some of the interviews of Princess Diana, the way she spoke about the family not liking her and stuff?
Yeah.
And you can sort of half see a bit of fear in her eyes. But
Yeah,
she
you
was
can
brave
definitely
enough to talk
see,
about him.
like concern, can't you, on her face? Like
Yeah, like they
a
don't
pain
like me and I'll
almost.
never be
one of them.
one of them. Yeah.
Because who knows what happens behind those castle walls?
Yeah.
Probably some heinous shit has gone down over the years, you know? Heinous. So yeah, you've got a controversial opinion on the Queen, it turns out.
She's all right.
She's alright.
I quite like psychopaths.
Yeah?
Yeah, they're interesting.
That's true. Would you want to be friends with the Queen? Or is there too much danger involved?
It depends what would be involved.
Just
in
friends.
Being friends with her, like.
I mean,
would
she
she
probably...
Is like
It's the Queen,
I
it's gonna
wouldn't
get
want to be
dark.
sort of pally with her, just go around for a chat.
Yeah.
But I'd like to probably know her
Know her
and
well.
know her well enough to like go to the shop for her and get
Mm.
200 grand.
Or know what book she'd
For-
like if you saw it in a bookshop or something. Or
Yeah, she'd be like, "Oh, can you nip to the shop get me some milk for a couple
20
of-"
Regal.
Yeah, and then she'd give me a big tip.
Yeah, of course she would. She wouldn't even know what it cost. But you'd be honest, wouldn't you? And you'd give her the
Yeah,
change
I'd
back.
be-
And she'd go, "No, Joe, you're all right."
Yeah,
Yeah.
take a massive Ruby or something.
Yeah, he just takes some of the jewels. So, would you have a queen? Do you think it's a good thing?
Um,
Is she your queen? Be careful. I think treason's still
um,
punishable.
yeah, I quite like the idea of us still having a royal family.
Yeah.
I wouldn't like to it just be eradicated and fall
No.
into a system of only being run. I know we're pretty much only run by the government anyway
Yeah.
and Parliament, but it sort of feels like
You can vote at
she,
least, can't you? With Parliament,
yeah.
like with the
But
Queen.
I just feel like without her there, they'd
Mm.
be even more out of control than they already are.
Do you
Because they
reckon?
know that they've got to pass certain things through her.
Yeah, but she always lets it happen.
Yeah.
She's got to.
Uh,
Otherwise, she's a dictator.
is she? Maybe she is.
Yeah, if she just says what's happening against Parliament's wishes, like she pretty much has to go along with Parliament, or, well, back in the day, you'd get your head chopped off, wouldn't you? Probably if you didn't go along
What,
with
the
Parliament.
Queen would have got her head chopped off?
Maybe. Has any queens had their heads chopped off? Like powerful queens, like ruling queens, not like a king's wife. That.
I have no idea. I'm not too good
No,
with history of monarchs.
me either. Has there been many queens, do you reckon, that have had the sort of power that Elizabeth's? Elizabeth? Yeah, Liz, yeah.
She's the longest reigning, isn't she?
Is she?
Um,
Of course, yeah, yeah.
now. But Victoria reigned for a long time.
Yeah. Yeah, in the
Um,
Victorian ages.
I
That
can't
whole
think
thing.
of any really long reigning queens other than those two.
But she's mostly like a figure now, isn't she, really? She's just a...
Yeah, she's just there for
She still
tourism,
owns all the
basically.
swans or whatever, and if she wants,
Yeah.
she can have your house, because she owns all the land.
Really?
So if she wanted to, she could kick anyone out of where they live and use the land, but she never does it, which is one of the features of the Queen. Like, she's got a lot of powers, but she doesn't use them, because that would be... Imagine if the Queen just started taking people's houses. It'd kick off. We don't live in that time anymore. Back in the day, she used to be, the Queen would just, or the King would just take bits of land if they wanted and give them to the gentry to run as farms or whatever. And
When did the United Kingdom become a United Kingdom? Because originally it was split into kingdoms, wasn't it?
yeah, like you had the Celtic,
And you had
sort of Scotland.
a ruler of each kingdom.
Yeah. And I think those borders shifted quite a lot over time, didn't they? Like, at one point, like, I don't know about if it goes all the way to Kings,
think-
but Lancashire and Yorkshire sort of...
I don't know the exact story, but it was something, wasn't it, that like there was a ruler of a certain kingdom, let's call it London,
Yeah.
who
Londonian.
who asked for help from a big army. It was someone like the Romans or something like that to defeat another kingdom.
Oh, okay,
Um,
yeah. So there was the Celtic Kingdom, which is the northwest coast up to, and then so it's Scotland, northwest coast, down through Suffolk, Cornwall, and a little bit
Cornwall
on the
was
end
a
of
kingdom.
France, and Wales and Ireland. They were like the Celtic bloc, if you will, like the original British inhabitants. And then London and the coast up to like Newcastle, all that chunk of it, that was invading Europeans, like pretty far
Because
back in history.
King Arthur was an actual king, wasn't he? You know that because a lot of people think it was just a story.
Yeah, there's some
That
suggestion
King
that
Arthur and the Knights of the Round Table was just a made-up story.
yeah,
But he was a king of
it
a
seems
kingdom
really
within
likely.
the UK.
Yeah,
Was Cornwall, King of Cornwall or something.
I think it was a big chunk
Um,
of the southwest, perhaps. I don't know though.
this
No,
is
was
why.
it?
This
No,
is
he was
why.
Welsh. It was Welsh. I'm sure Arthurian tales are Welsh.
King
I feel
Arthur,
like the
possibly.
Celtic Kingdom was maybe what he commanded.
This is why you need to get my dad in for a podcast because he knows this stuff.
Yeah.
Like down to every detail.
Yeah.
And he's probably told me a million times, but I just
It's not
I don't know.
stuck.
Yeah.
You should try and organise that. And then would he be down as like Joe's dad?
It'd
Or would he
just be
want to use
down
his
as
name?
like some kind of like wizard.
Some kind of like wizard.
Yeah. he's he's an actual yogi.
Is he?
Yeah, he could just be the yogi.
Yogi.
Yeah, but he has an actual yogi name
Oh, right,
because he
okay.
completed like a Kundalini yoga teaching
Oh,
course.
nice.
And so the guy that
Oh, that'd be a good name
he
to
learned
use.
from
Yeah,
got
gave
him
him a
name. Yeah,
That'd be a good name to use, Yogi, whatever.
I can't remember what the name was. It was something weird. Yeah,
Yeah, they often are. That's really cool. So where did he complete that?
it was in Derbyshire.
Oh,
It was
right,
in a
okay.
place in Derbyshire. He
Any
went to
idea
and
where?
he stayed there for a while. No.
No.
In some
Derbyshire.
sort of
Like some kind of
valley or
Buddhist retreat
something.
or something, or...
They did other like courses there, like
Same kind of things.
yeah, similar things and
Like, I don't want to say Reiki, because that's a bit of a funny one, but stuff like that.
yeah.
Yoga and teachings and...
Yeah, it kind of sounded like a bit of a cult. It was on about before, the way he explained it. Like there was, this wasn't anything to do with his course, but there was something to do with people talking on stage and stuff. He read some of his poetry out on stage and
right.
stuff because that was always a fear of his to
Oh, to do that publicly?
public speaking, and he did that whilst he was there and stuff.
Yeah. Well, that's a good experience, isn't it, I suppose?
Yeah.
Give you a bit more confidence and whatnot.
I'll have to find out what the place was because it sounded interesting when he talked about it.
There's like retreats and stuff that are like that, like Buddhist retreats or, non-denominational retreats.
Yeah.
Where they do stuff like that.
But saying that, I don't think he actually got the qualification there. He started to learn it there.
Oh,
and then a guy that he met at the retreat travelled to Blackpool and taught him.
Oh, right.
We need some more serious subjects then, don't we? Like,
Well, that bit on the Queen was serious, wasn't it? That was...
Oh, did I? I've just slated the Queen really bad, haven't I? She's not that bad.
You've called her a psychopath.
Yeah, but
what about
that's not really an insult.
No.
Is it something like 1 in every 20 people are a psychopath?
No, it's more than that, isn't it? Like proper
or 1 in
psychopath.
every 10 or something?
No.
Like actual...
That'd be terrifying. I think it's like, isn't that like 1 in a million, like for
Oh no, it's 1 in 100 people.
Is
are
it?
classified as a psychopath. Yeah, because I watched a TED talk on it, and he was talking about like two or three people in this room, or 5 people.
John Ronson, he did a couple of books.
Yeah, possibly. Yeah,
I know
when he did this, learnt about the psychopath test, and
and they weren't all
and he
like
met that guy
extreme.
at Broadmoor. Did you?
I can't remember.
He was talking about how a lot of rich people and high up people are psychopaths because they show all the traits like lack of empathy. And he went to meet a guy in America whose job is just to go around big corporations sacking off hundreds of people at a time and stuff. And but he had no sort of emotion for it or anything, and he was
you
he went to interview
you?
him. And then he spoke to some Scientologists who don't believe in medication and mental illness and stuff, do they?
Yeah.
And they said they could prove that it didn't exist by him going to interview this guy at Broadmoor who pretended to be insane, but he's not really insane. But now they think he's insane, and he's stuck in Broadmoor. Yeah, it's a really interesting story.
Yeah, I think I caught it. Mark Ronson or some... Not Mark Ronson, that's the musician, isn't it? John Ronson. I'm sure he did a book or two. But yeah, I mean, it's the kind of... the most rewarding parts of society are the parts that those kind of people are attracted to. In terms of financial reward and power and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like, you have to do some heinous shit on the way up most of the time. You end up... You can go into something like that with, like, good intentions, like being a politician or whatever. Or somehow famous, but sometimes you have to do some heinous shit.
I think it's sometimes people like that who fail and don't get to that point. They're the ones that turn into
the psychopaths.
Yeah, into violent psychopaths.
Ah, okay, the ones that don't get an outlet that's somehow
that's why it
positive.
That's why it seemed to kind of be like with Ted Bundy when I watched the documentary. You know that documentary on Netflix?
Oh yeah.
Because he wanted to be a politician and stuff like that, didn't he? And he got into some high places and knew some high people, but he never really
Oh, man, he should have stayed the
became
course. He could have
successful.
done some psycho shit
He could have
when he
been
joined the right
really,
club, you know. Or
a really powerful politician.
yeah.
Uh,
Well, that's what power attracts, isn't it? That kind of
yeah.
people who want power. And if you want power like a lot, that's probably a bit of a problem for you, isn't it? Like,
Yeah.
if you're going to try and get a lot of power, like what, over a big group of people, over like the desire to do that's a bit mad.
Yeah.
To be able to tell a bunch of people what they should do or something, or have some kind of ownership.
Is Donald Trump a psychopath then? Must be.
Well, I listened to the
To
chap
be fair, I think he's probably less psychopathic than some other presidents and some other prime ministers. He's not yet gone into any big wars and so. Well,
he's carried on.
Yeah, yeah.
He's carried on like all the drone campaigns and all the stuff in Afghanistan, Iraq, or Yemen, Syria.
Yeah.
He's carrying stuff on. He's not done like a new big war anywhere.
No.
He might go for Iran though.
Yeah, I think he's.
I think he might be bluffing on that, but
Yeah, he's just really weird and a little bit daft. He's more got the what do you call it when you love yourself sort of thing. He's got that side. To
oh,
him,
like a egomania sort
yeah.
of. And he's got this weird thing of like ignoring reality. Like when he came to London and there were big protests against him.
And he said that everyone loved him or something.
Well, he was like, I didn't see any protests. I saw some people, but they were all cheering for me.
Yeah.
And it's like to say something like that, and then like even further down the road, just been like, oh no, there weren't any protests. After he'd had a chance to read the news and whatever.
Yeah.
Like that kind of nonsense talk is like something that Kim Jong-un would do.
Yeah.
It's kind of Kim Jong-union.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
I like that image of him as an onion, you see. Kim Jong-onion.
Yeah. And there's probably been a lot of stories about him in The Onion as well.
Probably. There definitely has been. I quite enjoy these satire news pages, but I don't know. Sometimes people think they're real, don't they? And they post them places. Oh my god, did you know?
Yeah.
Maybe you should do a song about Donald Trump.
Donald Trump. It looks like a crumpet, but only difference is the holes are in his enemies. There you go.
That was enjoyable.
That was.
That was enjoyable. And that was just straight off the top of the dome there, wasn't it?
Yeah. I mean, there was too many obvious things to throw in. Like the fact that he's named after a fart and stuff,
Yeah.
but I didn't want to go there. I wanted to go.
Can you
a little
believe
bit
we've got a
different,
Johnson?
We've got a Johnson and a Trump.
A Johnson and a Trump, but we've got a Johnson. Like, what's Boris Johnson doing being Prime Minister?
What was that leader of UKIP called? Or what? A dick brain.
Yeah. Yeah, entirely appropriate. But how did that happen? Like, Boris is the Prime Minister. He's like a
It
funny
seems
guy.
really unusual. He's
It
just a
doesn't
big
seem real,
daft
does it?
kid.
Yeah.
He's like, what do you call him? Toffs or something. Like,
Careful there, that's classist or something.
how is it?
No, bollocks to that.
He's
Class
just-
war's real.
It's like stereotypical, like rich university student
Yeah.
that you see in films that wants to become, I don't know.
I
like from
reckon.
a rich family. Isn't
In that kind of environment, there's a lot of buggery going on. And I
Yeah,
reckon
well,
he was fairly bullied.
it? There's more than buggery.
There's
going
more
on,
than
isn't
well, there's much worse than buggery. In those schools though.
there? Cameron fucked a pig, didn't he?
Exactly. In the mouth. Never
Yeah.
forget. That was a day and a half, wasn't it, when that news came out?
That
Nothing
was
like
the real
that.
reason he stood down. He thought
He's like, I've got to go sometime.
I've got to go Brexit.
Mm-hmm.
Theresa May will take over. But really, the story got out that he fucked a pig,
He
and his
fucked a
wife
pig in the
didn't like it.
Nobody liked it.
No.
I thought it was hilarious. I quite liked it.
Yeah.
I thought it was hilarious, and at least the pig was dead, you know.
Yeah, it was like an initiation.
You wouldn't
thing.
do a live pig.
It's so weird.
Yeah.
That was like some sort of initiation to get him into like a club.
Do you know why they do it?
Shag pigs.
Well, that sort of thing,
Aye.
so that you can have evidence of it, and then if the person goes against what you tell them to as leaders of the cult, then
Do you reckon that's
you
what
will
happened
blackmail
and that's why
them.
it came out?
Yeah, yeah. Maybe it was because I don't know why it was. I think they just needed someone to throw under the bus.
Was it before or after he called for a referendum?
I can't remember.
Because that could have been a reason for him
It
to
could
bring it
have,
out.
but I can't see him
they
standing
wouldn't-
up to them over that. You know. No, I am gonna have a referendum. Like
Yeah, it's just.
maybe because it didn't go
he
the way
must
they
have done
wanted,
something.
or something.
Yeah.
Boris looked surprised when he read the result out.
He's happy now, though, isn't he?
He was happy. Like a pig in shit. Quite literally. Yeah, he's an happy guy now. I don't think he'll be there very long, though. I think he's like a little comedy filler. You know, like a cameo in a movie,
Yeah.
I feel like.
Who do you reckon's next?
Corbyn next.
Yeah, that'd be
100%.
good, but
It's going to happen.
yeah, but it's kind of a shame
Yeah.
that they kind of they won't be that bothered that he gets in now because they know that he's going to have to deal with all the
Yeah,
shit
he's going to
that's
have to
been
deal
left
with
behind.
Brexit. Yeah.
And they know that like it's pretty much an impossible task, and they'll be
Yeah.
able to pile on the fact that he's doing bad because
Yeah.
and they'll blame it all on him, kind of like they did.
Everything.
They do it every time, basically, don't
They're
they?
blaming Brexit on him, aren't they? So, you know,
Conservatives fuck up the country,
yeah.
and
Blame it
then
on
they
Labour.
let Labour in and blame it on
Course.
them, so they get back in again.
And that used to be a voluntary cycle, like under Tony Blair and under a lot of his predecessors.
Yeah.
That was like they're both two groups of the same people.
Yeah.
And like I didn't used to vote for Labour. I used to vote Green if I'd vote. Sometimes I wouldn't. But now they've got a proper socialist who's got a history of going to protest and stuff.
As sad as it is, it'll probably happen to him.
Mm.
So like,
I reckon he
it's
can
just a
negotiate
case
a
on
good deal.
whether and how much good he can do before
Yeah.
he gets kicked out.
Well, yeah, or
When he becomes leader.
you know, if he tries anything too radical. I think it'd be a bit too obvious if he was killed.
Yeah.
But like Robin Cook, they killed him. You know, he said something about there's no such thing as Al Qaeda. That's literally the way you say the base in an Islamic language. And he was like, "There's no such thing. It's just made up so we can go and get oil and stuff like that." And of course, there are like people there
Who's
who
this
are.
guy?
Robin Cook, he was a politician
Mm.
in Labour, and then shortly after that, he used to go walking a lot on walking holidays up in like the Highlands and stuff, and he was found dead like a couple of weeks later on a walk, heart attack. A man who does it all the time.
Bloody hell.
He wasn't that old, like he was a bit radical, and there's a couple of other people in government who've been a bit radical and got, or at least died in mysterious circumstances. You know, I don't know what happened. But I don't think a sitting prime minister would be got. Can't think when
No,
that
but
last
they'd
happened.
figure something out to get rid of him.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, helpfully, he didn't go to that club, so they haven't got that dirt on him. Like, he hasn't done anything that's
No.
compromising that they can use at a later date.
But they'd just have to pay enough people to vote against him.
Yeah, yeah. That could happen.
Can a party just sack a leader? So
No.
say if he went into prime minister, they couldn't just vote him out.
No, they have to do a vote of no confidence, and then the membership have to back that up, sort of thing. Membership have to agree with them in a vote.
Oh, okay.
And the membership is like a huge amount of people. It's the biggest membership on the planet for a political party, and the membership vote on policy, and then Labour takes that policy forward. So any policy that Corbyn's on about or Labour on about is something that's been voted on by the biggest political membership on the planet, I think. So it's pretty cool. You know, it's quite democratic. I hope there's enough of a surge. There nearly was last time, but they will try everything they can to not have him in power.
Yeah.
Anything.
Well, it's probably not that difficult to rig an election even now.
Oh yeah, you could rig the election if you don't think that you can get him out of favour enough by.
They tried to rig it last time, didn't they?
Lots of people, more people are being turned away these days, saying, "Oh no, you can't vote," which is not a thing
but
that
them
used to happen.
documentaries came out about the call centres and stuff, didn't they? They had illegal call centres calling people up.
Oh,
The
did they?
Conservative Party,
Saying, "Oh yeah.
yeah.
I
And they had
remember.
someone had took footage from inside of one of the call centres where they were ringing people and persuading them to vote.
Yeah, Horizon or someone got that, didn't they?
Yeah.
It was on the news. It's dirty, man. They spent a load of taxpayers' money. Is that Cambridge Analytica?
Something like that.
Yeah, the company that they were using. Yeah, I think they were used in America as well. There's a guy called what's he called? Dominic Cummings, who's Boris's advisor, and the advisor, that job used to be called the Grand Vizier in the olden times. And do you know who was a Grand Vizier? Jafar.
Out of Aladdin.
Out of Aladdin. He was a Grand Vizier. So like Boris's Jafar is this Dominic Cummings guy, and last night he was roaming round the halls and outside and stuff, glass of wine in his hand, face on him like an angry drunk, shouting at people and shit. He was like tearing it up, going, "Ah, rah, rah!"
What the hell?
Yeah, so it does seem like the system's kind of pretty worried, which I'm sure it would be if there was a person saying, "I'm going to tax you. I'm going to fucking tax you. I'm going to do this. Poor people are going to get better conditions."
Yeah, it's a bit mental.
The system will probably do whatever it can, you know.
But yeah, and if it gets to the point where a general election's going to come,
Which is soon. It's going to happen.
the people who have got tax havens and stuff like that, people who are trying to privatise the NHS, they're just going to rape it all as fast as they can and get it done with before Corbyn comes through. I reckon so.
Do you reckon?
I reckon they'll just destroy the NHS.
Oh, before the election?
Before the election, yeah, they'll just
Holy
privatise
shit.
everything. So then, they've already privatised loads of it without telling people, haven't they?
Yeah, they just sell contracts off. Stuff like that, don't they?
They'll just push everything through, and then if Corbyn gets into power, they'll be like, Corbyn's in power, what's happened to the NHS?
What's he done?
It wasn't privatised when we were in.
Shit, son. But Boris has said he's going to have an election, hasn't he?
Has he?
Yeah. 15th October, he's saying. There's some other legislation they're trying to push through first, but he's saying he wants an election on the 15th of October at the moment.
Before shit
Brexit.
goes down.
But what everyone thinks he's going to do is say that, and then after that's set in stone, change the date so that it's after Brexit. So they're not jumping in it just yet, which is sensible. They're going to make sure that no deal isn't an option through some legislation that's going through at the minute. And once that's secured, then Labour will be game for a general election. Because at the moment, Boris he hasn't got a majority because he's kicked out 20 MPs, and he already didn't have a majority by one the other day when someone left the Conservatives. So he's not got a majority. For him to call a general election, he needs the support of 2/3 of the House. And he's only got... Well, he's got less than half of the House, so he'd need a bunch of other people to join in. So, as a Prime Minister, he can call a general election, but he might not get it through Parliament. He needs Parliament support to get it through. It's a pretty mental, archaic system we've got. It's a bit Game of Thronesy at the minute, though. Yeah. Not that I've actually seen Game of Thrones, but...
I just finished watching it, it's really good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I think I might do this winter.
You should definitely watch it.
Yeah?
It's definitely, I'd say, in the top 5 series I've ever watched.
What's the top 5?
That's one of them, isn't
That is, isn't it? Instantly the brain just goes trying to shuffle through them.
You got probably have Breaking Bad in there just because it's Breaking
Bad. In the 5, yeah, definitely. I've got to put Lost in there if it's me, but you know.
Who?
Lost.
Yeah, well, I only watched the first season of Lost. Never went back to it because Someone said it got really shit at the end.
It's not true. You just have to
Yeah,
pay
well,
attention.
I am going to go back to it because there's a few seasons that people have said, "Oh, the shit." But I think that people just say that for
They
everything
do,
because they
yeah.
don't want to.
Somebody
Like,
doesn't like it, you know.
loads of people said, "And the Breaking Bad was shit." It wasn't really shit.
It's in the
Loads
trailer.
of people were saying they didn't like the end of Game of Thrones. I thought it was as good as they could have done it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
You have
yeah.
to end somewhere.
You do. And maybe
Yeah.
that's not the direction you would have chose for the story, but they did,
Yeah.
and they did a good job of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I find that with the end of a lot of stuff.
Did you ever watch Dexter?
No.
Yeah,
Well,
well,
a couple of episodes.
Loads of people hated the ending to it, and the thing is, the ending is kind of a bit over the top
Right.
and
Bit
ridiculous.
theatrical.
But I liked it just because.
That's what they wanted to do.
Yeah, they had to end it, and they decided to end it with a big over dramatic scene.
How are they going to ever end Rick and Morty? I don't think you can end that, can you?
Yeah, that's another one I've not watched much.
No?
Of Rick and Morty. I've
Oh,
watched
you should
about
check
3
it out.
episodes.
Really?
Yeah.
Rick's amazing. Rick is a hero. Rick is.
It's good from what I've seen so far. I've just not got round to sticking it on.
You should definitely do Lost.
That's a big fucker there, isn't it?
It's a big fucker. Look at that beast too. All the
I thought
wildlife.
that was fake. It's been sitting there for ages.
Just a fake moth that we keep there.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty good. Maybe they could scare away the real moths also.
I'm trying to think of some other series where you can put them in all-time great.
All-time
There's
great.
Sopranos, maybe? Did you ever watch?
I watched Sopranos. I don't know if it'd go in my top 5. I don't know.
You know what I did with Sopranos? It's like, I was watching it on, Kodi, which is like streaming
Yeah.
or whatever, and is there like 5 series or something like that? But
Yeah,
anyway, I watched it all the way through and then got to the final season, and I put the first episode of the final season on, and watched it all the way through, and it had been probably about a month before I'd watched the season before, and I was like, I just have no idea about anything that's just happened.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm going to have to go back, recap season 4 and watch it again.
Shit.
So like I sort of watched the recap of season 4 and then stuck it on again and got halfway through it, and I was like, it still makes absolutely no sense what's going on. So then I decided to Google like what's going on, and I realised that the episode were in the wrong order. And for episode 1, I'd watched the final episode of the whole thing, and it just ruined it for me. So I never ended up.
So you've never watched those episodes?
I'd never watched the final season. Another really, really good season. Have you seen Banshee?
No.
It's got quite a bit of over the top action in it, but it's really good. About he's like the main guy in it is like an ex-jewel thief that's just come out of prison, and it's about him like going and getting back on his feet in this little town called Banshee. And he's like really good at fighting and stuff. It's just about him in this town.
Fighting.
Like he uses a fake ID to like become a sheriff of the town and stuff, and it's about him fighting different like gangs and stuff.
Gangs. Is there any monsters?
No, it's
no
all
monsters. Just gangs.
It's
no
really
dragons.
good though. It's called Banshee. If you look it up, if you stick like the first couple of episodes on, you'll just get hooked on it because he's.
Westworld.
Westworld was. I really enjoyed the first season. I've not watched the second season.
No. It was good. I think I have anyway.
I've not watched the second or third season of Stranger Things either.
No. I've enjoyed that. I'd say more the earlier work than the later work personally, but.
Don't say that. You put me off watching.
No, I mean it's still good. You know what I mean? It's just not as new as it was that first time round. Like it was really new. You know?
Yeah, it's good. I just like that style of like where it reminds you of like 80s.
Yeah.
Sort of adventure films and stuff.
Yeah.
And the Spielberg feel to it.
Yeah.
Like, did you ever see Super 8?
Yeah, it's kind of very.
That's got a similar that sort of feel as well, isn't it?
Yeah. for sure.
Back to sort of like,
But but Stranger Things is a bit more neon in it, and
yeah,
the like later 80s maybe version
yeah.
of sort of the Goonies.
Yeah, I love that sort of era of films, those adventure films and stuff.
I enjoy
Like,
some
yes.
of them.
Did you ever watch The Explorers?
No.
Explorers, it's from that sort of era, but it wasn't as big a film. It's about like 4 kids that one of them's well into science, and he discovers like this orb that like he doesn't really know what it is, but it starts flying about all over his basement and stuff, and he manages to like contain it, and he realizes that whatever he puts in this orb, he can control and fly it. So they steal like an old waltzer from a amusement park, and then put this orb around the waltzer and like end up like flying into space.
In a waltzer?
Yeah, and then meet some aliens in space.
That'd be pretty sick.
It's just called Explorers, I think.
Explorers. I'll check that
Yeah.
shit out. Cause that was it. Yeah, those movies are good. That
Yeah.
era, those childhood films.
That Stand By Me is a more serious one, but I love Stand By Me.
Yeah, it was good. Have you checked out the Dark Crystal remake yet?
No, is it good?
It's good.
I might have to
Ogre's in it.
Do you have to watch the original again? Because I can't remember anything about the original.
You should
really.
always watch the original again.
Did you watch that first before you watched?
I've seen it many times.
Oh, I'll have to watch it
It's
again.
like a Ghostbusters sort of, one that I've watched quite a few times when I was a kid. Like Labyrinth, that was good as well.
Yeah, Labyrinth was really good.
Yeah. And Willow and Legend.
Yeah, they're other ones that I can't really remember.
No, just
what
weird
happened
shit going
In
on.
a never-ending story.
Never-ending story.
Yeah.
Yeah. Legend had a terrifying bit that I completely forgot existed, which I won't tell you what it is because you should check it out.
Is Legend the one where it's got the weird devil guy?
Yeah, Tim
in it?
Curry.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
terrifying.
It's pretty terrifying. There's like a swamp monster witch thing. Out of the swamp. Even as an adult, when I watched it recently, terrified. Meg.
You know what used to terrify me? You know the guy in the painting out of Ghostbusters?
Yeah,
He
Vigo.
was terrifying,
No,
that guy.
Vigo?
I can't remember his name. I just don't even
Just
like. I just
don't even like
close
speaking
my eyes
him,
when
really.
that guy comes on.
I know what you mean. Oh, and when he materialises as well.
Yeah.
When he's not just in the painting.
No, he's terrifying.
Serious, isn't he? Just looks at him.
Yeah. And the guy out of Who Framed Roger Rabbit was terrifying. Remember the baddie, the ball.
Chris Lloyd.
Yeah.
Yeah, genius guy.
When he turns half.
When he was
quiet
yeah.
And his eyes start going and stuff.
Yeah, doing the big screaming and the ah. That's next level insanity.
Like, you
that
don't
acting.
get kids films that are terrifying anymore like that, really.
No, they're more uplifting these days. Here's some morals. I suppose that there's probably some weird ones out there.
I had a recurring nightmare when I was younger. I had it about 3 times. Of like, I just started floating through this really weird world. It was sort of like floating through another dimension with all weird shapes and stuff. But there was like this guy, and he looked a little bit like the guy out of Ghostbusters painting.
Right.
But it was a different guy, and it was like his head, and he was the master
Have
of
you
his
ever drawn
place.
him?
I ever drawn the guy in my dream?
Yeah.
No.
You should try and draw him.
Well, this is a really weird story. It's a true story.
Right.
I had this dream a couple of times. I was terrified of this guy. I'd start panicking when I saw him in my dream, and I'd wake up. I had it a few times when I was younger, and then never had it again. And then I just completely forgot about the dream. And then when I was about, I was probably about 7 or 8 when I had them dreams, like
Yeah.
really young. But I remember them. You remember certain dreams really clearly, don't you? Especially like nightmares. I must have been about 17 or 18, and I was watching This Morning or something like that on ITV. And the guy was on This Morning. Like, the guy was on the couch, and he was like this really sort of placid, friendly guy, and he was crying over some sob story or something. And like, I saw him, and I was like, as soon as I saw his face on screen, it made my heart jump. Like, shit, that's the guy out of my nightmare. So like, I can't remember exactly who this guy was or why he was on the show, but I reckon I must have seen him.
Was it
when
not
I was
the
younger.
actor?
It could have been that
Do you
actor,
reckon?
maybe. or something. But he was definitely the guy on my nightmare. It's so weird how I recognised him straight away, and I was like,
And then you remembered the nightmare.
shit, yeah. And it was like sort of weird seeing him like he was just this dead friendly guy on telly. And yeah,
Pretty weird.
that's really weird.
And then you've remembered it since.
Yeah. So I don't know whether I'd seen him when I was younger
Mm.
and had nightmares about him and just not. It hadn't registered.
Maybe after seeing Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
Well,
or,
no, you. Yeah.
Or
yeah.
whether I'd just dreamt this guy that was turned up on telly.
Turned up in the Ghostbusters
Yeah.
movie. That'd be pretty mad.
Yeah, nightmares are weird.
Yeah, I used to have a recurring one when I was probably around the same, like 5, 6, somewhere around there, where it was just I was in my bed, tucked up,
Yeah.
dreaming that I was in my bed.
Yeah.
And then
Wait, before you tell me it, is it something about being lifted up?
No,
No.
no.
Okay.
Something grabbed my legs, came up under the duvet, or maybe it was legs hanging out or something. No, it was in
Yeah.
the duvet sometimes as well. Some hands grabbing my legs and just pulling me out the bottom of the bed, sort of thing, or trying to, and I'd struggle against it or whatever. And sometimes I think I actually went under a couple of times, and it was something like a stereotypical hell sort of vibe. Pretty dark, but most of the time I'd try and fight it off because I didn't want to go down there. And then from there I learned how to do lucid dreaming because I was like, oh, I've been here loads of times. Oh, it's a dream, it's a nightmare, it's the nightmare that I have, sort of thing. And then I managed to sort it out. I used to have another one that Dr. Robotnik would land and chase me.
That's
It's really weird. And as soon as I'd try and start running, it'd just be treacle.
yeah.
I
I've had
just couldn't
those
move. And
treacle
Dr.
dreams.
Robotnik was just like, just getting closer the whole time.
Yeah. I've had like, have you ever had sleep paralysis?
No.
Like
don't
I've had
think
that
so.
a couple of times. I've had some weird experiences with it. Right, starts off. I don't know. It sort of feels like I don't know if it's like an out of body experience or something. But a couple of times where I've had it, I've sort of woke up in my bed, and everything's. I just know I'm in my room, but everything's slightly vague and sort of tunnel vision sort of thing. A couple of times I've had it, and I'll sit up inside of the bed and then realise I'm dreaming and I'm still in my bed. And
Yeah.
stuff, and I have to go back in. But it's a really when I start moving away from myself, it starts getting really terrifying. And
Right.
stuff like, and sort of you sort of have a bit of a panic attack. But it's
Right.
just so weird and realistic, as though you've actually woken up and you're there in your
Yeah,
room.
in the yeah.
This is before the sleep paralysis thing. This is like a bit, but it joins because whenever I've had this dream, I've woke up with sleep paralysis where I wake up and I can't breathe properly. Like my breathing's really slow and laboured. I feel like I can't get my breath, and you can't talk, but you're awake and all your body's asleep and everything, and you're trying to force yourself out. You force your body to wake up. It's sort of like your mind wakes up, but your body's
But your
still
body
asleep,
hasn't,
and it's a
yeah.
really horrible.
Yeah,
feeling.
because you get paralysis chemicals when you're asleep, don't you?
Yeah,
Like the
it,
brain
it
does send
feels
stuff
like you
out.
can't breathe, but I think it's because you go into such a deep sleep
Yeah.
when you're into such a
Slow breathing.
slow breathing when you're asleep. You wake up and you're still breathing like that.
Yeah, and your body's
And-
doing it automatically.
Yeah, and
you're
you're trying
not.
to take a proper
big
breath,
breath.
in, and your body won't do it.
Yeah.
And it usually lasts probably about 10, 15 seconds, but it feels like forever.
Yeah. Yeah, I've
Yeah.
not had that. I've had the like dreaming as if you've woken up sort of thing. Like the dream
Yeah.
starts with waking up.
Yeah,
The section starts with that, and I remember once waking up and going to work and doing a shift at the zoo and the cafe washing pots, and then waking up and having to go to work and do a shift in the zoo and the cafe washing pots because it was a dream the first time.
that's weird, isn't it?
I hated it. I was mad all day
Um,
at the actual job.
But I had this sleep paralysis thing a few times, and I had the same dream before each one, or I'm assuming it's a dream, but it just feels real. Feels like you've nobody experienced. And a couple of times I've like stood up and like looked at myself and sort of got scared, and then tried to get
Oh, try
back onto myself and
Yeah.
force myself to wake up. And there's this one time I had the dream, and straight away I knew I was in this thing where, like, I stood up and I tried to just calm myself down,
Mm.
and I thought, I'm trying to decide whether it's an out of body experience or whether it's a dream.
Oh, like analyze it a bit and
Yeah,
step back
so
from it.
I was in like an attic room at my mum's house at the time. I was like, I'm gonna see how far I can get away from myself. So I like walked down my attic stairs and walked into the hallway.
Without feeling any
No,
like
like
fear
I
or
calmed
anything.
my panic down and
Nice.
stuff. But like I got into the hallway downstairs and then I started to get scared, thinking like, what if I can't get back and everything was really dark and you can't see very well. So I just like ran back upstairs as fast as I could and like jumped on the bed to like try and then I woke up with that sleep paralysis thing. It's like a really weird experiences.
See,
Because
when
they're
I
not like normal dreams. It's
it's
like
super.
lucid dreaming, but super
Well,
real.
that was because you were calming yourself. Because
Good.
did you know you were in a dream at that point?
Yeah, I
You
knew
were
that
calming
I was.
yourself
Well, I
'cause-
knew I was having one of those
Yeah.
experiences.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, lucid dreaming is pretty mental. But I forgot what I was gonna. Oh,
Body.
when I used to try and wake myself up, that was one thing that I'd do if I realised I was dreaming, but it was a nightmare. It'll try and wake myself up. Is close your eyes really tight in the dream, and then
Yeah.
open them really fast, and just keep. trying
Yeah, I
that a
did
few
a similar
times.
thing to that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you wouldn't try? Would you try doing that away from your body?
I don't think I ever did try that.
No. Would you?
Away from my body.
Sounds dangerous.
Yeah, I'd try it.
You try it.
But it's weird because it feels like a real thing that's happening. It's different from realizing you're dreaming and everything's weird. And you
Yeah.
can manipulate stuff. It's not like
You're
that.
floating in the real environment.
Like I'm walking around in a real environment. Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's not. It's like
Yeah, it's lucid
When-
waking or something.
yeah. So when I'm in that experience,
Can you float?
no, it's just like I've literally come out of my body.
Yeah. And you're walking
and
around
the
the
only
house.
difference between the state I'm in reality is everything is sort of blurry, like I'm wearing thick glasses or something. It's like I can't
Like at
quite,
the edges.
I can't quite concentrate and see things clearly. So like when I've been in those experiences, I've never thought, oh, I want to try and wake up. It's sort of like I'm awake. It's sort of like I feel like
right,
I'm actually
okay.
there. I'm in that experience, and I know
Yeah.
to get out of it, I have to go back
You have to go
to
back.
myself and get back in myself and then try and force myself to like be back in my body
You
again.
should see if you can
feels like
float.
an out of body experience. That's
See if
the
you
only
can
way I
float.
can explain it.
And then you can float back up the stairs. Just don't try it when you're not sure if you're dreaming or not.
Yeah,
That's the danger, isn't it?
yeah.
What if it bleeds over into reality?
It is weird. It's hard to explain. Like I wouldn't be able to float in that scenario
Because it's the real.
because it's like a real
Yeah,
experience.
yeah.
Like when you realize you're in a lucid dream, you can start to do whatever you
Yeah,
want and
but when
manipulate
you-
things. But with that, you can't. It's
Yeah.
just like
You're just a
yeah,
non-physical body in a physical world, sort of.
yeah. It's weird.
Do you get like touch sensation, like on your feet and stuff?
Yeah, it's like I'm walking on the ground like
yeah, you
normal,
can feel things.
but I can't remember if I
No.
touched things or not.
Well, you could feel the ground on your feet.
Well, yeah, you're just sort of
Yeah.
walking.
Yeah.
It's hard to, without being back there in that experience, it's
Yeah.
hard to remember what I could feel and what I couldn't. But that one time when I tried to go downstairs and see how far I could get and got scared and came back up, it was when I was with Lorna at the time. When I came back upstairs to my room, we were both on the bed. I saw us both. And this time, when I tried to wake myself up, I jumped on the bed onto both of us
Right.
to try and ask her when I woke up whether she felt me jump on
Yeah.
it. But she didn't. Have you ever had those dreams where you shout something in your dream and then you wake up shouting it?
Yeah, maybe a
I've
couple
had
of
that a
times.
couple
Yeah,
of
not a rare one, but a fun one.
When I used to stay in that attic room, I had this dream that my mum was shouting me to get up for work, and she kept going, "Joe, Joe," and I was going, "Yeah, yeah, Yeah, and she kept shouting at me, and I went, yeah, like screamed at the top of my lungs because I was getting annoyed that she was shouting my name. I went, yeah, and halfway through shouting, I woke up and I was shouting at the top of my voice, and it was about 4 a.m. My girlfriend was like, "What are you doing? What's the matter?" And I was like, "Oh, sorry, I was having a dream." But I shout like I've, just the loudest you could possibly shout. I must have woke everyone up.
I was round at Max's once, and I woke up shouting and screaming about it's coming up the stairs. Like at about 7 or something on a hangover sort of day, and there was Max and someone else, and I woke them up shouting about it's coming up the stairs. And this mum was coming up the stairs. And she came to the door and she was just like, what's going on? I was going, ah! Ah! And then...
were you on drugs the night before?
Maybe. I don't know. Maybe. And then Max said, like, what are you doing? And I went, oh, it doesn't matter. And went back to sleep. And didn't know about any of that until I woke up and got told. It's a weird thing. Sleep, really, innit?
Yeah.
Folk don't like to talk about how weird it is.
I love sleep and like dreaming.
It is like one of the craziest
any kind of dream,
psychedelics.
even nightmares and stuff. They're scary when you have them, but I just love them.
That you're alright at the end, really.
Yeah, and I love just remembering them.
What about when you find like a wallet with loads of money in, and then you wake up and it was just a dream?
Yeah, I've done that.
That's bad.
Where I've
Don't
been rich in my dream and then
done some crazy shit. You're like, oh my god, I'm so happy with my life right now.
Yeah, and then you wake up. Yeah.
They're destroying them. Oh. They're not so bad though, it's only a dream, innit? Or when you've had a good idea in a dream and then you can't remember it in the morning. I once had an idea to make shoes that on the back, like on the heel at the back, they'd have teeth. So I just dreamed it once and I was like, yeah! Teeth in the back of the shoe! It's gonna be millions!
And then you wake up and you realise it.
Yeah, but I remembered it. Brought it back, that one. They let me bring that back.
Yeah.
Not done it yet. I think somebody did. I think Kanye did some tooth shoes, though.
My dad has a dream notebook
Oh, nice.
that he keeps at the side of his bed
Yeah.
where I'll write. Apparently, if you write them down straight away,
You
it's a
remember
lot
them.
easier to remember because it triggers that memory of him again, doesn't it?
And you get into the habit of it, sort of thing,
Yeah.
and that helps.
But you should see the notebook. When you wake up and you're not quite woke up yet, like some of the writing's indistinguishable. You can't read it
I bet
because
they're
it's
the best
just
ones
so.
too.
He must have written some of them whilst he was still asleep because he just because even he can't read some of them sometimes. He's written down as soon as he's woken up.
It's a crazy space, man. Like, it is the most insane psychedelic, and also you can do it lucidly, which you can't do with any other, like, trip type thing. And it is like a massive trip every night where you're in a whole different universe.
Yeah.
But you can control it if you want, If you get used to it, you can.
I've never tried to get used to controlling dreams. Really.
No?
I've had lucid dreams that I've managed to control.
Yeah.
But very few.
Yeah.
Yeah.
These
They're
days,
usually just dreams that happen, and I remember.
And you realise.
Remember what's. But that's what. That is lucid dreaming, right? When you realise
you're dreaming.
Yeah.
Yeah. These days, if I ever do, I mostly it just happens anyway. Just like I just follow it along and I'm not actually active in the dream per se.
But I have a lot of really clear dreams, just not realising that I'm dreaming when I'm in them.
Yeah, I had a bad one the other day that I realised I was dreaming in, where I was just asleep in my bed in there, and then I was just being tossed around the room by some invisible hand or whatever, like some just steaming about the room, and like I realised I was dreaming pretty early on, but I was still panicking a lot, just being thrown about. But yeah, I realised I was dreaming eventually, and then wasn't sure.
One of the weirdest nightmares I used to have as a kid, I had it a couple of times, was like everyone laughs when I tell them, but like sometimes a nightmare can sound hilarious when you tell it, but when you're in it, it's terrifying.
Being chased by a giant carrot. sort of
Yeah.
thing. Like, yeah.
But this one I used to have was I'd wake up in my room as a kid. I was probably young at the time, probably a similar age to the other one, about 7 or 8.
Mm.
And I'd start walking downstairs, and at the bottom of the stairs, my family was stood there. Like my mum, my dad, my brother, and my grandma was always in it.
Mm.
And they all had cone heads, like the film Coneheads.
Yeah.
They all had that weird cone head thing, and I'd be terrified and tried to scream, and no sound was coming out. And they were sort of like, "Come on, come and join us, come and be one of us," and stuff. And I had that one a couple of times, and I've never watched Coneheads because of that nightmare. I've still never seen it.
Never
I'd
seen
watch
it.
it now,
Yeah.
but I didn't. I was scared of watching the film for years, just because I'd obviously
Like a
seen the
Conehead
film
dream.
poster or something
Yeah.
and had the dream about it.
Pretty mental. I've had ones where I've woke up. The worst probably. Like, woke up thinking that I was having a heart attack, just having like a strong pain in the chest, and trying to scream but not being able to make any sound.
Yeah,
Just having that as a dream, and then just waking up and being like, Jesus
Yeah.
fucking Christ.
it's weird how you can like sense things in dreams, feel.
Well,
like,
there is
feel
some of
and,
that, yeah.
like certain dreams, you can sort of taste and touch things and
Yeah, they get really real.
remember the sensations. And,
Yeah. I had some super fun ones. I always used to try, if I became lucid, I'd try and go to India. And like, I'd be like, right, if I go around that corner, that street there, turn that corner, that'll go to India. And I'd always try and get to the beach, but I'd very rarely get to the beach and end up somewhere else. Like, Harold and Kumar sidetracked, but they never made it to White Castle.
Yeah.
White Castle, even. Usually didn't get there. Got there like maybe once or twice.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Do you reckon they'll eventually learn how to, like?
Like record them.
I don't think they'll ever get to the point where you'll be able to record
Yeah.
what someone's seeing in the dreams.
Well, they've done some. There's a machine that does from MRI imaging, reconstructs a picture of what the person's looking at, and
Mm.
it's getting reasonably good.
But would they be able to play out the dream like in video form of everything that they're seeing? I don't know.
You'd have to
Can't
be able to
imagine
scan
how
really
it'd
well.
be possible.
Well, it translates the data from like things that are firing in the brain
Yeah.
into an image.
You could then probably come up with a series of images.
Yeah,
pretty
the
close.
definition would have to get a million times better, but to get it.
It's kind of
As
scary
amazing.
that that's possible though at the same time, because then you could just literally read people's minds and see what they're thinking.
Well, yeah, if you had them plugged in some way, or you could scan it from a distance or whatever, then you could.
I thought I'd come up with a good invention when I was younger.
An
of, like-
invention? Is it like an adventure invention?
a good invention when I was younger, and then I realised that it was just rubbish. Of like trying to record people's dreams in sound. Of like, if you could put someone into a deep state of hypnosis where they start to dream, and then start just asking them questions about what's happening,
Yeah.
where they're going. So then you'd have their description of the dream, so they'd remember it. I don't know. It's,
That'd be interesting, and you could even induce them into lucid dreaming. You could let them know they're dreaming, and they can.
yeah,
Do
but hypnosis and dreaming are two separate things. So you'd
But I
have
wonder
to
if
like,
you could induce a dream state in hypnosis.
yeah, maybe.
Maybe. Got their eyes closed. They're very suggestible. If you've got no input visually, it's reasonably easy to conjure up colours and stuff. And
But you'd have to literally ask people questions and them answer, unless you could get them to a state where you say just explain everything that's going on all the time.
yeah, which would
And
be
then
pretty
it-
mental.
Yeah.
I remember reading an interview with Aphex Twin, and he said, although he's notorious for lying to the media all the time, he said that he composes music in lucid dreams, and I always thought it'd be interesting to try and make like a short movie.
That's interesting.
Like you could plot it out.
'Cause Black Mirror have just done an episode like that.
Have they?
Have you seen the new series of Black Mirror?
No.
Have you watched Black Mirror at all?
Yeah.
The latest season. You know Miley Cyrus is in one of them.
Did I see it? I'm sure
The
I'm
one
up to
with-
date with it. How recently?
Like last month or something.
Oh, no.
Or last couple of months it came out. But the one with Miley Cyrus in, she's like a pop star in it. And part of the story is that she hears music in her dreams and then composes them when she wakes up.
All right. No, I don't know
Yeah.
if I have. I should check that out.
It's
I didn't
quite
know there was a new season.
quite good. The newest season wasn't as good as some of the other seasons, I thought.
Yeah, I saw
Yeah,
that
that's right.
Bandersnatch thing.
I've not watched that yet.
Have you not? That's good.
Is it good?
Yeah.
Have you watched it a few times and played
Yeah.
out different
Yeah,
scenarios?
of course. Tried getting like 4 endings, I think. It's tricky though.
What, tricky to get a different ending?
Yeah, I think we had to watch it maybe 4.5 or 4 2/2. You know, like
Yeah,
watch a couple of bits again because we ended up back
at the same place.
where
yeah.
we, at something we'd
Someone
already
did
seen.
a flow chart of all the different scenarios.
It must be
mental.
pretty mad, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is really mental.
Black Mirror is incredibly good season. Just the way they've done it
Yeah.
is
Yeah, it looks amazing.
just some of the
Concepts are
stories and
good.
stuff. And the fact that they're all different styles because he's got different directors to direct the different stories.
Yeah, it's a
and
really
stuff
good
like,
idea
so
to do that.
Yeah, he says he sort of got inspiration from like Twilight Zone and stuff where they'd have different
Yeah.
stories each week. But the fact he uses different directors on top of that,
Yeah.
because they're all independent pretty much, aren't they? All independent episodes.
But they've all got a similarity about them as well, though, haven't they?
Yeah.
They're all like they all
Yeah.
fit with each other.
Yeah, that's
Sort
where
of
he said
thing.
he took inspiration from like old shows like Twilight Zone. They don't do it anymore where it's a different story each episode,
Yeah.
but weird things happen in each.
You should definitely check out Bandersnatch.
Yeah, I'm
It's
gonna.
really good.
The only reason I didn't watch it is because I've got a shit telly that
Yeah.
wasn't up to date enough. Oh, earwig on your microphone.
Anyway, get away and squish him if you want, or just whatever.
I don't want to flick him towards you.
Don't flick him toward me. Flick him away.
I mean, what even are earwigs?
I don't know. Do they have a use? Do they actually go for your ears?
That's what I've always wondered.
I've never looked it up out of terror, I think. I
Just
don't know.
imagining one of them crawling down your ear hole is
That'd be the
not
worst.
great. They're pretty hard to kill.
Yeah.
Tried to squash one.
Hannah squashed one the other day, and like half an hour later, there was just the front half of an earwig just roamed out.
Yeah, they're weird.
They are
Just-
beasts.
I don't even want to touch
Doesn't
it.
even want to get involved. It's like, yeah, you don't, Joe. I get in your ear,
I
motherfucker.
could just put it in my ear for the podcast and see what happens. See
There's
if I
no
go
video
insane.
though. We could get it on video. There's a
You
camera.
could hear my terror.
We could hear it. I don't know if I'd be
Yeah.
comfortable. I could get it on video though if you did it.
I don't know. I don't think that's a good idea, is it?
We'd find out though if they like ears. We could do it for science.
Could we not put it in the cat seat?
I think that'd be 2 counts of animal cruelty.
Yeah, it probably
Yeah.
would.
It's alright to do it to humans. They're the animal that it's okay to be cruel to. As long as they consent. And then they can run along obstacle courses and fall over.
What if they're just really nice? What if we sat there thinking, why does everyone slagging me off?
Why are they always trying to squish me
Yeah,
and leaving me with horrible injuries?
he's just here enjoying the podcast.
We've got a listener, Mr. Earwig. Says, play me some music. A song about the earwig, maybe. Bet you could do it.
Don't know if I've got the. I need some. Mr. Earwig, you ain't that big. Crawling in my ear, making me kill myself. You drive your pencils in my brain. You make me walk out in the rain and stab myself. but I don't care. Because Mr. Earwig was there when I was sat in my chair. Woo! It's a good song.
That was a good song.
I don't think it made much sense.
Music doesn't need to make sense. Sometimes it can. You know. Does Mr. Bungle make sense? What are you doing? He goes, oh, now I see who you are, Joe. I see.
He's liked it.
Not a fan, it would appear.
Oh.
Oh, he is.
Oh.
What do you want to do?
I still need to do the voiceovers.
Should I have another take or two? Yeah? Let's do a bit of that. Alright, good night, folks.